I have the absolute honor of leading us in the singing of our national anthem, O Canada, but first I'm going to invite the other local candidates to come up and stand behind me, and I will introduce them. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to go from my right to left. I have Luis Ibarra, welcome. Liz Gray. Nadim Akbar. Parm Gill. Sue McFadden. Tim Crowder. And Ron Schinzer. And again, I'm Emily Brown for Burlington. Thank you. If you could all bring your flashlights out, I'm going to start you in singing O Canada. I will start you with the first couple of words, and the rest is up to you. Are we ready? O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. Thank you, everyone. Canada, we stand on guard for thee. At this time, I would like to invite Tim Crowder, and he's going to do the first introduction. Thank you.
How are we feeling, guys? Time for some change? Time for some common sense for a change? Time for Canada first for a change? Have hope, guys. Positive change is coming. But I have an important question for you. After a decade, a lost Liberal decade, with crime up, costs up, our economy down, under the thumb of the Americans, do the Liberals deserve a fourth term? No. 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 Or is it time to put Canada first for a change with a new Conservative government that will axe the taxes, that will build the homes, that will unleash our resources, will stop crime, and will bring home jobs so we can stand up to Trump from a position of strength? That's the change we're looking for. Absolutely. Common sense Canadians like you know we need change now. And the person to deliver that change, Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre is the only one that can bring this change to Canada. And the person to deliver that change, Pierre Poilievre. Here to tell you more about the only man who can stop Mark Carney, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Ana Poilievre. So Ana is an entrepreneur. She's a dedicated advocate against human trafficking and a staunch supporter of women's empowerment. Born in Venezuela and raised in Montreal, Ana moved to Ottawa in 2006, where she met her future husband, Pierre Poilievre, in 2012. And they married in 2017. An active member of the conservative movement, she's the driving force behind conservative merch and Pierre's #1 supporter. In 2024, she launched Their Stories Matter, an online platform dedicated to giving a voice to survivors of human trafficking. Ana is committed to supporting women and elevating them through her online magazine, Pretty and Smart Co., and her Lead Her Forward initiative, which seeks to pay it forward by inspiring, connecting, and elevating women. But she will tell you her greatest accomplishments, most important roles, are being a supportive wife and the proud mother of Valentina and Cruz. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Ana Poilievre.
Hello. It's been quite a journey. So Canada, here we are, in a very crucial time where we must decide whether we're going to elect for a 4th time a Liberal government that has left us with a weakened economy, rising crime, unaffordable housing, and a divided country. Or are we going to elect a Conservative government who's going to put Canada first for a change? This journey began 3 years ago for my husband and our family. So allow me to be a little bit emotional today. My husband has been traveling from coast to coast to coast so that he can listen directly to Canadians. Because what we need is the government of the people, by the people. Leadership is not born in the boardroom of the elite. Leadership is not born from fancy degrees or titles. Leadership is born from the true love of our country, patriotism, our true north, strong and free. And yes, my husband has dedicated most of his adult life to this, to be right here at home, fighting for our youth, our families, our seniors, to always, always put Canada first. So, with all due respect, when Mr. Carney says that my husband doesn't know how the world works, I'll tell you what. My husband knows how Canada works and how to make it work for all of us. I truly believe in all of my husband's policies and that they're going to help all of us, and I support him. But in order to understand why are we doing this? You need to know the family behind it all. My husband, he was born from a teenage mother who gave him out for adoption to two school teachers from Saskatchewan. His parents, they worked really hard and they lived paycheck to paycheck. He was raised in humble beginnings, moved from Calgary to Ottawa, and he worked really, really hard for everything. Nothing was given to him. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. And creo que hay varios latinos aquí hoy presentes. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and my family migrated here when I was 8 years old in 1995. There were 6 of us living in the east end of Montreal in a very small basement apartment, very cramped up. My father, he was a bank manager back home, and he traded his business suits for secondhand clothes to come here and pick up fruits and vegetables, because that's all he could do to feed our family. He taught me that there's no greater dignity than to provide for your own family, and that all work is dignifying. My father is here, present. He was here when we launched. There we go. He was here when we launched at our first rally, and he's here at what could be the last rally where I introduced my husband, because the other ones are going to be whistle stops, so it'll be fairly quick. And I'm sure that as an immigrant father who had to give up so much and sacrifice so much for the future of his children, I'm sure he never thought that he would see me on this stage. But that is what the Canadian Promise is all about. By the time that I was 17, I had moved out of home and become 100% financial independent. By the time that I was 19, I packed up my suitcase, left Montreal, went to Ottawa, took a student loan, grabbed a job. I fed myself, paid for rent, paid for food, and put myself through university, all by myself. By the time that I was 25, I had succeeded. I got my degree, got a good job in the Senate of Canada. I had saved $25,000 so that I can put a down payment on a little town house, 2-bedroom in the east end of Ottawa. That was in 2012 when it was $230,000. That was 3 years before the Liberal government took office. And that was the Canadian Promise. That used to be the Canadian Promise, that if you work hard and you do everything right, you can get ahead and afford a home and start a good life. And so it has been an honor of my life to stand by my husband's side from the beginning of this journey every single day, to fight with him for you, and you have been there all along for all of us. Thank you so much. I love seeing all of you, and it's been a pleasure every time that we can shake hands. So please, you've been showing up in strength. It's time to show up in strength, and on Monday, you have to get out and vote. Because, ladies and gentlemen, together, all of us, we are going to make Pierre Poilievre the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Something Thank you very much. Who's voting for change for Canada? Who's voting for homes and food you can actually afford for a change? Who's voting for safe streets for a change? And who's voting to bring home the great Canadian promise for a change? Wow, what an incredible crowd we have here. Look at the size of this. Amazing. Have you all been out to vote for change already? Are you going to gather up your friends to vote for change? You're going to drag them out to the polling station and make sure they get it done for a change. Because time is running out. Only one more day to bring home change so that Canadians can afford food and homes and live on safe streets. You have to get out and vote to make it happen. Now, before I get into the substance of my remarks, I think we should all take a moment to acknowledge the terrible tragedy that unfolded late yesterday in British Columbia. All of our hearts and prayers are today with Canada's brilliant and proud Filipino community who've lost so much. I ask you to say a little prayer for all of those who are without a loved one today or who may have lost their lives themselves. We unite as Canadians in honoring all of them, and we take inspiration from the lives that they lived. Thank you very much. My friends, today is a day to unite our country, to bring our people together, to look forward with optimism and hope to the future that can be. And Ana described that future in telling her family story. It's a story that many of you have experienced. Coming here with very little, building a business, starting a family, building a life. A story of Canada where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything. Where it doesn't matter if you've been here for 6 weeks or 6 generations. If you're prepared to put your shoulder to the wheel, you can move forward and achieve anything you want. That's the story that allowed me to be on this stage. It's why I'm so grateful to be Canadian. And it's why I'm in politics today. But that promise, right now, is broken after the lost Liberal decade. Housing costs have literally doubled. They've risen faster than at any time in Canadian history, more than in any other G7 country. I meet young people every day who believe they'll never be able to afford a home in Canada. And you got one right there? Yeah. How old are you? 23. And you want to own a home? Start a family? Build a life? And you have hope today that we can vote for that change and give you that chance? You will. We hear the stories of, I love you too. I love all of you. And it's been the privilege of my life to fight for all of you, and our work is just beginning because starting tomorrow, we're going to be bringing change to all of Canada. And, you know, we have these incredible candidates who are going to help us bring change. Nous avons des candidats extraordinaires parce que pour le choix dans cette élection, c'est après les décennies perdues des libéraux, avec les coûts et la criminalité qui augmentent, on ne peut pas payer le prix d'un 4e mandat libéral. Il nous faut un vrai changement avec un nouveau gouvernement conservateur, un changement pour l'épicerie et le logement abordable, un vrai changement pour les rues sécuritaires, un vrai changement pour ramener nos emplois chez nous et se tenir debout pour défendre nos intérêts en tant que Canadiens. Le changement, c'est ce qu'il faut. C'est ça le choix. Now, I hope I don't miss anyone. We have an incredible slate of conservative candidates who are going to be bringing change to Canada. Ron Chinzer, Tim Crowder, Emily Brown, Parm Gill, Louis Sababra, Sue McFadden, Nadeem Akbar. What an amazing team. But I've got terrible news for them. I've got some terrible news for them. It's very good news for all of you. but it's terrible news for all the politicians. You know, change can't wait. We need affordable homes, we need safe streets, we need to bring our jobs back to Canada for a change. And that is why I have announced that I am canceling summer vacation on Parliament Hill. We want change. So, if you have a little cabin, you can go online and rent it out to someone else. If you have golf clubs, you can sell them on eBay, because you're not going to be needing them, fellow representatives, because we want 100 days of change, during which time we will be passing 3 laws: the Affordability for a Change Act, the Safe Streets for a Change Act, and the Bring Home Our Jobs for a Change Act within 100 days of taking office. 100 days of change. And so the change Canadians need is more urgent than the vacation that politicians might want. And the future that we have is more, you got that right. We got, all right, I got an endorsement there. And thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It will be a privilege. Prime Minister. Minister means servant. Prime Minister means first servant, and it will be an honor to serve all of you, to deliver the change you deserve. But change requires a plan, and we have a Conservative plan to act quickly to change the direction of our country. That plan is actually called Change for an Affordable Life, for Safe Streets, for Canada First. Let's go through the plan. To start with, we need to make Canada an affordable place for you to raise a family, to retire, to own a home, and to live a life. But why is it so expensive today? Well, the reality is that out-of-control government spending over the lost Liberal decade has flooded our economy with cheap cash, bidding up the cost of the goods you buy. Taxes now make up more of your family budget than food, clothing, and shelter combined. Higher taxes mean less take-home pay and more penalties for hardworking people and entrepreneurs. That is why we have launched a plan to cut $55 billion of waste by cutting consultants, $10 billion annually, by streamlining the bureaucracy, by cutting foreign aid so we can bring our money back to Canada, and by bringing in a dollar-for-dollar law that will require we find $1 of savings for every new dollar of spending. In this way, we will cut the Liberal deficit by 70% over 4 years. This will allow us to free up money to reward your hard work by cutting income tax by 15%, so you keep your money for a change. Not only that, we will reward production here in Canada. I've announced that as long as the tariffs are in place, Conservatives will axe the federal sales tax on Canadian-made automobiles. In that same vein, we will get rid of the carny tax. That's, he wants to bring in, starting next year, he wants to ban you from having a gas or diesel-powered car. He's phasing out, he's capping and reducing every year the number of automobiles that are powered by gas that dealerships can sell. Every car over that limit will pay a $20,000 tax at point of sale. To $20,000 tax on your car. We will axe the carny tax, and we will make it more affordable for you to buy a car and get around, putting you in the driver's seat for a change. And we are going to bring our investment home to this country. Here we have a warehouse. This is capital. This is investment. We need more of these places, more machines, more technology, more pipelines, more mines. We need it all to bring home our paychecks. We need more home building. But to do it, we've got to cut the taxes on investment. That's why I've announced the Canada First reinvestment tax cut. Zero capital gains tax when you reinvest your money in Canada. For a change. We need to unlock the biggest home building boom in Canadian history. And that is why I have announced that we will lead the charge at a federal level. We will axe the sales tax on new homes to save you up to 65 grand. We will incentivize our municipalities to speed up permits, free up land, and cut their development taxes to bring down housing taxes by $100,000 for every new purchase and incentivize the construction of 2.3 million homes over 5 years so that our youth can afford a place to live for a change. And we need to have the incredible tradespeople who will be building these homes. Boots, not suits. We're going to team up with union training halls to train 350,000 of our young people in the licensed trades so we can have more electricians, more pipe fitters, more carpenters, more boilermakers with more paychecks. We will incentivize our schools. In fact, I'll be sending a beautiful gift to every high school principal. I know education is provincial, so we're going to get some constitutional experts. Thank you, and we will uphold that trust. You know, but I'm going to send a present to every high school principal. Are there any teachers or high school principal here? We've got a teacher over there. So how do you, teachers, excellent. So I want you to know if you're, thank you. My parents were teachers. I love the teachers. And listen, I want to tell you my idea, and you can tell me what you think. There's going to be a big box arriving at every high school in Canada from the Prime Minister's office. And in that box, it's going to be about the size of this stage. There's going to be a module for every licensed trade so that our young people can get started on pre-apprenticeships as early as age 14. What do you think? Boots, not suits. And they're going to be busy because there's going to be a lot to build. We have the most resources of any country in the world. We should be the richest nation on earth. We're going to repeal. We're going to reverse Mark Carney's Keep It in the Ground agenda. We'll repeal the anti-development law C-69, the energy cap, the tanker ban. We will approve the big, beautiful mines that are going to dot northern Ontario and make this province richer through the Ring of Fire. We're going to do it within 6 months to get digging for a change. We're going to also unleash our construction and our production of Canadian energy. We will build Canadian pipelines with Canadian steel to deliver Canadian energy to the entire world for a change, breaking our dependence on the Americans, making us strong, self-reliant, sovereign, so that we can stand on our own 2 feet and stand up to anyone who challenges us or takes us on. We're going to put Canada first for a change. These are going to be incredible jobs, $200,000-$300,000 a year jobs, jobs that feed families, jobs that buy homes, jobs that put good food on the table, jobs with beautiful pensions at the end of it all. That is the bright future that our workers have in store. The businesses that will be supplying the materials and opening the nearby restaurants will boom. We're going to unlock the biggest economic boom in Canadian history, $500 billion of extra economic growth. Bring home our jobs for a change. But in order to do it, we want you to bring those paychecks home to safe neighborhoods for a change. Is there any crime around here? Ron's a police officer. You seeing any crime these days? Every day? You want to come up and tell us real quick? This is Ron Chinzer, our candidate.
Oakville is one of the most sought-after communities in the country. We're a very good town where if you work hard, you can earn a good home and have a safe school. Sadly, every day or every week, we're hearing of a violent home invasion, carjackings, auto thefts by people that are on liberal, rinse and repeat, catch and release bail system. And that's why we're so happy that you're here in Oakville and you're going to change the laws and keep everybody in jail, not bail.
Thank you very much. We're going to support our police. Everybody give it up for the great police officers who keep us safe. After the lost Liberal decade of rising crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder, we cannot risk a fourth Liberal term. We have to reverse the policies that got us into this mess. Liberal law C-75 requires judges release offenders at, quote, the earliest opportunity and under the least onerous restrictions. That has caused for Vancouver police to have to arrest the same 40 offenders 6,000 times. That means that each one of these guys was arrested once every 2 days for an entire year, meaning they were basically doing nothing but crime all day long. My friends, in Penticton, there's one guy who does so much crime that when he is out of jail, the crime rate for the entire city actually goes up. Can you imagine that? One guy can raise the entire crime rate. I mean, these guys work nonstop. They have no benefits. They're not unionized. They do get room and board. They don't pay taxes. They do have room and board at the penitentiary where they stay for a very short time. They then, it's like the Hotel California. They check out, but they never really leave because they're back the next day. My friends, it's a very simple problem to solve when a tiny group of people do all the crime. And we have a solution in our plan for change. And this is we're going to be passing it into law with the Safe Streets for a Change Act. We will repeal catch and release bail C-75. Repeal. We will repeal house arrest and make it so that serious offenders serve their sentences behind bars rather than in their living room. We will repeal the get out of jail free card, C-83, that allows Bernardo out of a maximum security penitentiary. We're going to put him back in the max pen where he will stay. We will pass 3 strikes you're out law, 3 offenses, and you go away for at least 10 years, no bail, parole, probation, or house arrest, and you only ever get out with perfect behavior, clean drug tests, and learning an employable skill. You're only getting out of jail when you're ready to contribute to society, not to reoffend ever again. For a change. For a change. We will secure our borders. We must secure the borders. The Liberal borders allow 99% of shipping containers to come in uninspected. That's where the guns, drugs, and stolen cars move. We will bring in high-powered scanners to look into those shipping containers, watchtowers along the frontier, 2,000 more CBSA officers who will be able to inspect and block the contraband from coming in. And we will pay for it by canceling the wasteful, multi-billion-dollar liberal gun grab. That's the Change Express. That's the Change Express. And this lady says she's not a criminal because she goes hunting. Hunting rifles are not the problem. Liberals want to ban your hunting rifle. I want to protect Canadians from criminals. The Liberals want to protect turkeys from hunters. You decide what makes more sense to you. And then with Protect the Hunters, you get the message out to all those who enjoy hunting that they will lose their ability to do that if the Liberals get that fourth term. But Conservatives will protect your rights. We will stand with law-abiding people and rather put the criminals in jail where they belong. And we will stop the drugs. By the way, we will stop the drugs which have been raging out of control on our streets. We've lost 50,000 people to drug overdoses, precious souls, brothers, sisters, friends, neighbors, who made a mistake, got hooked on the drugs. You lost your daughter? Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Yesterday when I was in, the other day I was in British Columbia, if I could, everyone. I was in BC the other day, and we had a wonderful couple show me the picture of a loved one. I walked 5 steps down the line at a rally just like this one. Another lady holding up the picture of her brother. And then down the line to the very end, and a woman told me she lost her husband. None of these people were related. Everywhere I go, I see these tragedies and the pain on the faces of the people who survived. We know what to do. We know that we can turn around addiction and turn people's lives around and get them off the drugs and back with their families. And that's why Conservatives have a plan to invest in treating 50,000 of our fellow Canadians with recovery, detox, counseling, group therapy, physical exercise. I went to one of these incredible facilities in Moncton the other day, and I was talking to these gentlemen who were in the treatment facility, and they said, "Look, thank you for what you're doing to help us." And I said, no, I'm here to ask for your help. I need you. I have a job for you to do. You need to get better, and then you're going to go out and grab someone else off a street corner and drag them in here, and you're going to get them clean, and they're going to go out and grab someone else, and we're going to continue that cycle of hope till every one of our brothers and sisters overcomes this addiction crisis. We're going to bring home safety and security by rebuilding the great Canadian military and supporting our troops. We'll rebuild the landing strips in the north, fill all the recruitment vacancies in the Army, Air Force, and Navy. We will unlock construction of 4 massive Arctic icebreakers that will reassert our dominance in our waters and keep the Russians and the Chinese out of our territory. Poseidon aircraft will surveil from the top. Fighter jets will attack when needed. We will also build the first Canadian base in the Arctic since the Cold War, CFB Iqaluit. We will honor our veterans, give them the support they need to live great lives. They fought for us. We will fight for them. We will restore our freedoms, repeal censorship, honor the people who came before us, end cancel culture. We will put up new statues rather than tearing down old statues, because we're proud to be Canadian. We love this country, and we're grateful for the people who came before us. We owe it to all of them to pass on the great Canadian promise that they built for all of us. This didn't just happen. If we sit under the shade, it's because long ago people planted a tree for us. The Canadians who came before made it possible for all of us to have the opportunity that we enjoy today. It's a contract between the dead, the living, and the yet to come, that we must pass this promise down the line. We must restore it today, so that everyone has the chance to enjoy the opportunities that I had, that Anna had, and that many in this room had. What binds us together is the Canadian promise. Ce qui nous unit, c'est la promesse du Canada, que chacun qui travaille fort peut avoir une belle vie dans une belle maison abordable, sur une rue sécuritaire, protégée par nos braves soldats sous notre fier drapeau du Canada. Il nous faut du changement pour le ramener ici au Canada. Et c'est la mission de ma campagne électorale et la raison pour laquelle il faut voter pour le changement demain. My friends, the Canadian promise is what unites us and brings us together. In order to restore it, we need you to stand up for change, now more than ever, to rekindle the hopes that we inherited from our ancestors and pass them down to our grandchildren. The great Canadian promise that anyone from anywhere can achieve anything, that hard work gets you a great life in a beautiful, affordable house on a safe street, protected by brave troops under our proud flag. Canada, let's bring it home!